Uh-oh, we're being recorded.
Yep, always. Always.
Don't. Yep.
How many cars on there?
Yeah, but I still sort of kind of keep up with my old Snellville peeps thanks to Facebook.
That's how everybody keeps it nowadays, right?
I'm not sure. It should be my email if I gave it. I'm not getting your email at all.
I'll just send it real quick and we'll be done, and then I'll put the rest.
I got now you can now I've been busy lately, you know.
I've been on travel.
Yeah, I'm in California lately. I just got back last week.
Just in time for the game.
Yeah, last week, yeah. I just do so I should have come in a minute or so.
Yeah, give me 1 second, I'll. That's only gonna pay you up through,
Next year?
no, this is what you owed from last year and then paid this quarter, so. It is on its way to you, sir.
You have to wait. So.
Where'd Tom go?
He disappeared.
He just, poof.
Next week will be the end of August.
Shush. I didn't even think about that.
The Christmas lights on.
It's not, it's way too early to make horses.
Karaoke? Nobody else beeped in yet?
Nothing here but us chickens.
3 minutes till go.
Tom, I haven't put it in the system yet, but I picked up another whole sponsor.
Cool. Who's that?
That would be the law firm of Freed Bonder White.
All right.
Thank you, Captain.
Go get them,
That
Captain.
takes Oh, you too?
Did Brian say if he's coming tonight?
He's coming virtually.
There he is. Well, there he is.
Did you get an agenda, Captain? You and Bill?
I can borrow Bill's. It's fine. She just texted me.
Who's that?
Thank you, Sal.
Here's Brian.
Yes.
We need to troubleshoot our hotspot. It's not.
And there's Ryan.
How you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, hey Ryan, man, I like the microphone. Looks like it's the Ryan Cox Show starring Ryan Cox.
He's not hearing us.
Da, 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 da,
Somebody, who's got a phone that can call?
Says we're up and running on 5G, so
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it again.
we got 4 people on.
4 people.
Yeah. Well, there's me, my tablet. That's 2.
Fix me up.
Pete. I'm probably Pete.
Hello, everybody.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yep, somebody's connected.
That's us.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you,
Hey.
Captain.
Can you all
Now
hear me?
call-
Ryan,
Hi,
this is
Ryan.
Steve. I can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
You look like you're gonna be hosting the Ryan Cox Show, man. With that, I like that microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Ryan.
I do so many Zoom calls, so I always have to be prepared for everything.
Yeah.
You need to turn the sign around though. You know that?
Said turn the
Right.
sign.
Yeah, the sign looks dyslexic.
Let me look at my because the Microsoft Teams, it does everything in a mirror, so you have to mirror it in order for it to
Oh.
be, for the backgrounds to show. So let me.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I have that same problem at my house. Or here, if we put a background up.
All right, it is 7 o'clock.
Okay.
7 o'clock and all is well. Welcome everyone to the second meeting of the month here at the Lawrenceville Lions Club. My name is Brian Donegan. I am president and yeah, maybe they'll make me chief head cook, chef and bottle washer next. It's great for you all to be here, whether it be in person or virtual. We're going to have a great meeting tonight, so strap in and permanece sentados, por favor.
Brian,
Yes.
looks good.
Thank you. All right. Before we get going, I would like to ask. I would like to ask Andrew. Great to see him back. I hope he had a great time over in Los Angeles. If he'd lead us in the pledge, and if Lion Catherine would lead us in an invocation. Please rise.
No, we're gonna finish this one. Okay. Let's have it in the pledge, guys.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all your many blessings. Thank you for bringing us together as Lions. Be with those who could not join us, either virtually or in person. We ask for those that are in need of your healing hand, that you would restore them to full health. Be with us as we discuss all of the many projects and opportunities that lay before us, and may we make decisions according to your will. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Next up is an approval of the agenda. Does everyone have the agenda in front of them? I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda or make any.
So
all right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it above the nose, and the motion carries. The agenda is approved. Wonderful. Lion Tom, our illustrious tail twister, it is your turn, my friend.
Thank
Let
you.
her go.
Too many jobs here, sorry.
It's okay.
All right, so this week, everybody put in $2. And Brian will add it to your bill.
Yes.
All right, so Lions International has 7 aims. Who can name any one?
7 what?
Aims.
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 Did you hear the question?
I don't think I heard the
I didn't
question.
hear the question.
Okay.
Can I use the
Lions
microphone?
International has 7 aims.
Did you 7 what?
Aims. AIMS.
Okay.
Do you know any of them?
World peace.
This is new for this year, so I've not gotten that far yet. It's Miss America, Brian.
Oh.
Anybody? Steve, you know any of them?
Get new members.
Yep.
Yes. Ryan's got one.
Okay, I'm gonna admit I cheated and I Googled it, but One
Okay.
is to create and foster a spirit of understanding among the peoples of the world.
Right. Which dovetails with world peace. Okay. Anybody else know one? All right. Steve, you want to choose another one? All right, I'll go with one. The first one is to organize, charter, and supervise service clubs to be known as Lions clubs. And the thing to remember that this is the international organization. It's not so much the individual.
Right.
It's what they're trying
Okay,
to
I heard you. I'm sorry, I had my microphone muted. And I like this one right here, to take an active interest in the civic, cultural, social, and moral welfare of the community.
Absolutely.
In other words, don't just sit there, meet, and eat.
Right. And to coordinate the activities and standardize the administration of all Lions clubs. You gonna take note?
Sure. To promote the principles of good government and good citizenship.
And to unite the clubs in the bonds of friendship, good fellowship, and mutual understanding. Steve, if you'll take the next to last one, I'll take the last one.
Okay, to provide a forum for the open discussion of all matters of public interest, provided, however, that partisan politics and sectarian religion shall not be debated by club members.
Last but not least, to encourage service-minded people to serve their community without personal reward or financial reward, and to encourage efficiency and promote high ethical standards in commerce, industry, professions, public works, and private endeavors.
Amen.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, you've just been educated on something Lions tonight. None of us knew.
Wow.
All right. But anyway, let's back. The last question tonight is, why did you join? I'll start. Bill Gibbs. Yes, sir. All right. Pete, why did you join?
Why did I join?
Yes.
I was asked, by a guy that I met at a chamber meeting many years ago, and he asked me if I'd like to join the Lions Club, and I said, didn't know you even had one here in Lawrenceville. He introduced me, and I joined.
You did. Brian?
I joined, well, A, because I was asked, but B, mainly, to give back to an organization that has given so much to me as a visually impaired person.
Catherine?
Pete said there'd be beer.
He kind of ruined that when he got this place, didn't he?
I know, right? Thank you. I love the idea of being part of an organization that gives, that their whole focus is service and providing for the community.
Yeah. Andrew?
Okay, my thing, it's about meeting new friends and meeting new people around the world and getting there and getting to know what they do around the world in their country and bring them all together into one big club, you can say. Like, it's all about meeting new people, for me. That's all it is. And I'm a foreign student from another country that came here to make a difference, you can say. So,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
What country?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. We got to talk about that sometime. How about you, Steve?
Well, the short story is because somebody asked me back 20 years ago this year, somebody asked me to join the Lions Club as a fellow Toastmaster. I was living in Tucker in the North Lake area at the time, and I was at a Walmart, turned around After getting a cold drink out of the soft drink machine, there was a fellow Toastmaster wearing a yellow vest with a 5-gallon bucket and said, "Would you like to help the blind?" So I threw in $5, and then the next thing you know, I became a lion.
How about you, Ryan?
Well, Pete asked me. I met him at a chamber event. He asked me to speak, so I came and spoke. But also, a couple of reasons. With my organization, we give back to the youth of the community, and I just wanted to see more ways that I could give back, and also just learn from the Lions Club. Since you're all, there's already a history here. I also want to learn how I can get better at giving back.
Good deal. And I joined because I needed friends, and I saw that I have a knack for doing some administrative stuff that seems to help the cause. But with that, President Brian, it is back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Tom, our illustrious tail twister. And now we're gonna allow him to change hats and become Lion Secretary. Tom Arnett, do you have a secretary's report?
I can get it, read it.
Are you saying that you'd entertain a motion to forego the reading to approve?
Absolutely entertain the motion.
All right.
I'd be happy to make that motion.
Oh, wonderful. Is there a second?
Second.
Awesome. Any discussion? Hearing none, the question is called. All in favor of approving the secretary's report and foregoing the reading of said report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, the motion carries. Wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone. It is an honor and a privilege tonight to have with us a guest with a wonderful organization called the Gwinnett chapter of Habitat for Humanity. Little that you might know, there's a Lions connection because of probably the most famous person that's ever done so much for Habitat in the first place. And that's former President Jimmy Carter, who, before he was president, before he was governor, he was a Lion down in Plains, Georgia. And he's one of the most famous Lions in the entire world. And we're so very proud to have him as part of our association. If you give me a minute, I'm getting out my bio for our speaker. Hold on just a second. It's always a great time to be told that you put in the wrong password.
In the meantime, Don, welcome to the meeting tonight.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Don.
I'm glad to be here.
Good to have you.
Hey, Don.
Didn't mean to cut you out of the tail twister.
Yeah. Well, I joined as a visually impaired person. I just thought I wanted to help other visually impaired. Basically.
And that's great, Don, and we so appreciate having you. All right. Jen Welch is the Director of Programs for Gwinnett Walton Habitat for Humanity, where she manages the affiliates, A Brush with Kindness Home Repair Program, Neighborhood Revitalization Program, and Volunteer Services. She's been with the affiliate since 2018. Before joining Habitat, Jen served in higher education, helping students become more engaged in their communities. Jen, thank you for coming, and we look forward to your presentation. Let's give her a round of applause and a warm Lions welcome.
Awesome. Thank you guys for inviting us to come out. I didn't know that about Jimmy Carter, so that's really cool to learn tonight. I talk about him a lot when I'm speaking to folks, so that's really, really great to learn. It's good to hear that a lot of you guys joined for, can you all see me? I'm short. It's really good to hear that you guys all joined for service-minded reasons or to build that fellowship amongst other folks. So myself, you just read that I've been a part of Habitat for Humanity here in Gwinnett County since 2018. That's the first time that I came on staff. But service has been a part of my life since I was a little kid as well. So starting out with my youth group, just doing things, mission trips and things like that, my youth group. And my first introduction to Habitat for Humanity was actually with my grandfather. He was a skilled electrician. We do electrical work for our Habitat down south. I come from Henry County. And he would always do the electrical for Habitat for free. And he would tag me along with him. I'm like, what are you doing, Granddad? And he would kind of tell me about what Habitat for Humanity was all about. And so then when I was actually able to give back myself to Habitat, I started as a volunteer in high school when I was able to, when I hit that age where they let me come out. In college, I was actually part of a community-based scholarship program. So I gave 10 hours a week of community service to my local community, working at a senior care facility. And then I was able to get a scholarship from that. And then after that, I actually did a program called AmeriCorps. Are you guys familiar with AmeriCorps?
Yes.
So I did AmeriCorps for 2 years after college, traveling all over the Southwest and North Central region of the U.S., working with about 8 to 10 different nonprofits for 2 months at a time. I thought I was going to be a lawyer when I went to college. I went to Berry College to go be a lawyer, but because of my community service work and as my time at Berry as a student and then afterwards in AmeriCorps, I put my LSAT book away and continued in the community service realm. So after my time in AmeriCorps and CCC, I actually went and worked at a college here in Georgia as their AmeriCorps program coordinator, as well as doing volunteer outreach for all our students. So it's something that I really is at the heart of what I believe as a person is that we should be giving back, and you just have to find your niche and how to do that. So when the Habitat position here opened up in Gwinnett County, I was living here. I said, this is a perfect match. It brings me all the way back down to volunteering with my granddad as a little kid. So I'm really excited that I get to be with Habitat and share my passion for what we do with you guys tonight. So what is Habitat? Who are we? What do we do? We are a nonprofit organization. We are faith-based, and we want to provide quality, affordable home ownership to low to mid-income families. And so our mission is seeking to put God's love into action by bringing people together to build hope, communities, and homes. And so that's kind of who we are and what we do. And before I get into the nitty-gritty of how we go about doing that and why we do what we do, I kind of just want to ask you guys some questions to see what you know about the need for housing or what you know about Habitat for Humanity. Anyone know when we were founded, when it kind of started? You don't have to know the exact year, but throughout like a decade or something.
1956.
What the heck? What'd you say?
76.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
I'm good.
That's awesome. Did you Google it? Are you like Steve Googling in the background?
You see a computer.
Well, I got shirts in the back, which you can all pretty much have one, but that's my giveaway. So thank you for answering. That is true. We were founded back in 1976. Anyone know by who?
Let's see, Millard Fuller.
Yeah, Millard Fuller. A lot of people say Jimmy Carter because he is the most prominent kind of famous person who kind of got Habitat for Humanity well known internationally. But before he came along, Millard Fuller actually was our founder. Little known fact is that we were actually started down here in Americus, Georgia, at a little place called the Quanania Farm, which was a intentional community for living together in a Christian life. And so the guy who founded that community was Clarence Jordan. And Millard Fuller with his wife came down one time and they said, look, they were very affluent folks from New York and they wanted to live a more Christian life. So they came down to visit the Quanania Farm and they were trying to see what Millard Fuller was doing and how he was living down there. And they
wasn't it like a racially integrated place at the time?
Yeah. So a lot of people hear about all the things going on in Birmingham and Selma. Quanania Farms was one of the most racially impacted places in the South during the civil rights era. And it was the first place where blacks and whites were living together and working together at the same wage. So it was a farming place, which is really cool. Good knowledge, Steve.
Yes.
And I believe, and of course, one thing that they overcome was resistance from the local community.
Yeah, so the original Quania farm, they lost some folks because of the tension, and they actually had to kind of resettle some folks to places that were a little bit safer. But overall, the community itself did stand, and it was really, really cool. There's actually a video called Briars in the Cotton Patch that goes all through the history of the Quania farm and how it kind of merged into Habitat for Humanity, or how Habitat for Humanity was founded out of that idea of communal living and peace and relations with other people. So if you ever want to watch that, it's a really, really good video. Briars in the Cotton Patch. Awesome. Does anyone want to guess? If I was to say 900 million, 1.6 billion, or 500,000 people live in inadequate shelter in the world, what number would you go with?
9.6 billion.
Yeah, as 1.6 billion people live in inadequate shelter around the world. 1 billion of those live in what we would consider slums. Every 21 seconds, Habitat serves a family in need of better housing around the world. So every 21 seconds, there's someone getting a new home with Habitat, which is really, really cool. And since we were founded in 1976, how many people do you think we were able to improve their place that they call home? I'll throw out some numbers for you.
All right.
Is it 10 million? Is it 20 million? Is it 29 million?
I wish, I'm hopeful that it's the higher number.
It is the highest number. So Habitat for Humanity has helped 29 million people build or improve the place that they call home since we were founded in 1976. That's a pretty awesome number. And then a lot of people don't know that, like, you guys are international. Habitat for Humanity is international as well. So we have affiliates in 70 countries, from Argentina to Zambia. So if you can think of a place out there that needs adequate housing, there's an affiliate out there in that area. And then how many volunteers did you guys think that we mobilize every year?
It has to be in the millions.
Could it be 824,000? Could it be 1.4 million? Could it be 3 million?
3 million.
So currently it's 1.4 million. But with you guys, it could get even higher, you know?
Yes.
So
Well,
hopefully
1.4 million is actually how many Lions Club members there are in the world.
Are you serious?
Yep, we are the world's largest service organization.
Look at all these connections that I didn't know that we had. Okay, so now that you guys know a little bit of some of the big numbers about the worldwide impact of Habitat, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the local need here in Gwinnett County. So Gwinnett County, a lot of you guys, like Steve said, he's been here for a long time, grew up here in Snellville. Gwinnett County has remained one of the fastest growing counties in the past 30 years. This unprecedented growth has caused housing here to rise. It's really hard to find affordable housing here in Gwinnett County. So 63% of people that are employed in the greater metro Atlanta area make less than $40,000 a year. The maximum that HUD says a family should pay for their housing is 30% of their income. So if someone's paying more than 30% of their income on their housing, it means that they're cost burdened. They might not be able to afford other things like healthy food, education, health insurance. So in Gwinnett County, 1 in 3 households are cost burdened, and they pay more than 30% of their income on their housing. And the living wage here in Gwinnett County, anyone know what it is to have a good living wage? $17 if you're a single person. Now imagine you're a single mom who has a kid. To have a living wage for you and your kid is $31. You have to make that just to have a good, affordable place for you to live and maintain your home. There's not an adequate inventory of affordable housing for sale in Gwinnett County. If you guys look at all these new housing developments that are popping up, they're coming from the 300,000, 350,000, they're 400,000. I go to a lot of meetings where people are saying they want executive housing in Gwinnett County. They want to be attracting people who are having more and more money into the county. then what happens to the folks who are, working here in Gwinnett County who can't actually afford to live here anymore? So that's kind of what we're seeing as a need here in Gwinnett County. So what is our approach to impacting affordable homeownership? We want to work with the community to solve the problem and solve the need for affordable housing through partnerships. So we partner with local businesses, Cisco, Publix, Wells Fargo, Viasat. We partner with local congregations, 12 Stone, First United Methodist Church of Lawrenceville, Grace Snellville, and many, many more. We partner with local civic groups, and we partner with individuals. And we do that to provide the funding needed, about $100,000 to $115,000 per house, and the volunteers needed to build new homes, rehab existing homes, and repair existing home for seniors. So volunteers each year, we typically need about 800 volunteers that serve around 9,500 hours of service. So we need a lot of hands. And if you heard that, it costs us about $100,000 to $115,000 to build a house. And so what we do is we raise those funds through all those partnerships, and then we own the house outright as Habitat for Humanity. And what we do is we offer that home to a homeowner at a no interest, no profit mortgage. So we as Habitat own it once it gets built based off the funding of our sponsors and our partners. And then we turn it over to the homeowner. No interest, no profit mortgage. Which if you guys have a home and you look at how much of that payment is your interest, whew, is a lot. So how? 30 years? Yeah, when we first started building, so our executive director says this all the time. He came on board with Habitat about 8 years ago here in Gwinnett County, and he was building houses for about $50,000 back then. And so we were able to do mortgages that were 15-year mortgages. Now our houses are actually appraising for about $200,000 to $225,000. And our mortgages are then having to become 30-year mortgages because the appraisal was so much higher. And one thing that a lot of people used to say about Habitat is, I don't want that house in my backyard. I don't want to have that house. Because we were selling Habitat homes to people at what it cost us to build it. And then if you do that, it brings the value of your homes down, right? So what we started doing maybe like 10, 15 years ago is selling the home at what they appraise for. So whatever the home appraises for in your neighborhood, what your homes are going for is what our home is going to be going for. And so we are actually adding to the value of the homes in the area, and we're adding to the tax base in the area. So that's something that we changed to make sure that we're helping people out in the community, not just our homeowners as well.
This might be premature to ask, but it's my understanding that Habitat Humanity has a sweat equity requirement. So even if you're not going into a new, I know that y'all would have a thing where if they were building a new house, they'd have to put in so many hours of sweat equity. Do they still have the thing for, say, if I were to get a house already built, that I'd have to do so many hours of sweat equity?
Yes, and I will get to that too, Steve, right? That's Steve. But yeah, we do
Yeah.
require sweat equity, whether it's a brand new house that we're building or if it's a rehab house where someone's moving into it. I think that was your question.
You answered it. Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry to jump the gun.
No, I like it when it's more question-based, so this is great.
All right, so you sell the house to the homeowner for the appraised value.
Mm-hmm.
How do you
Keep it cost burden or cost effective?
Yeah, how do they afford it?
Yeah, good question. So each of our houses in Gwinnett County have HUD funding in it for the cost of the land. So we write grants to get some additional support to keep the cost of the land itself off the homeowner. So each of our homes in Gwinnett County have $30,000 built into that cost already. That's coming from HUD. So as long as our homeowners stay in their house for at least 15 years, that $30,000 loan or that $30,000 is forgiven. And so, like I said, most of our homeowners or all of our homeowners are not going to spend more than 30% of their income on their housing. So if their house does appraise for $225,000, which we just built a house in Tequila that did, we had to include some extra loans and liens in there that are forgiven if they stay in the house for the duration of those loans and liens. But their mortgage itself is only going to be $750, which for them is cost effective. Does that make sense?
And as far as the clients are concerned, like The houses that you have in the neighborhood, nobody knows whether or not it's a Habitat house per se. Is there some type of anonymity built in to keep neighbors from freaking out?
No, we actually want our neighbors not necessarily to know that it's a Habitat home, but we want them to know that we're coming into their community because we want them to be a part of it. And we want to do neighbor building. We want to do some fellowship building. So we actually invite their neighbors to come out and to serve alongside the homeowners and start building that neighborhood rapport. So we don't necessarily go around and telling everyone like this is their name, this is their information, but we say, hey, we're building in this community, a new Habitat house is coming. Please help us if you'd like to. And we actually like to utilize them as volunteers too.
Cool.
Yeah. So what are our service areas? We're all about affordable home ownership. We do have something called our Brush with Kindness. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We have a neighborhood revitalization program. We have a restore. Any of you guys ever been to that?
Heard of it.
And then we also do global home building. So I'll go into each of those too. But Steve was asking a good question about kind of what do our homeowners do, who qualifies as a homeowner. So because of our community support that we get from our partners and our sponsors, we're able to offer, like I said, that homeownership program that is not a hand up, but it's not a hand out, but a hand up by extending that interest-free and profit-free mortgage. So how do you qualify to be a homeowner? You have to show that you have a true need for a safe, affordable housing. So that might mean that your current housing is overcrowded, that it's unsafe in an unsafe area, or that you might have mold in your house and that's unsafe, or that it's cost burden. So you're paying way more than you need to be paying for your house. You have to show a willingness to partner with us. So that means completing 250 hours of sweat equity and also completing 10 life skills workshops. So we don't want to, sell a house to a homeowner and then just leave and hope that they can do what they need to do on their own. So we want to build into our partnership with the homeowner some ways to, do you understand what a will is? Do you know how to manage your finances properly? Do you know how to change your toilet out if something happens to it? So we do some of those skills to make sure that they are going to become self-reliant so that they can actually do some things that they might not know how to do already. We want to prepare them to be homeowners, not just throw a house at them. That makes sense.
Oh, perfect sense. In other words, you're not just saying, okay, we built a house for you, here's the key, congratulations.
Yes, which we do that, we celebrate, but not until we've had that partnership with them and not until we know or believe that they'll be able to handle this home on their own. And what's really cool is that we have built 152 houses in Gwinnett County so far, 9 in Walton. So if you guys didn't know, we have recently merged with Walton County. So our affiliate is now Gwinnett Walton Habitat for Humanity. But we built 152 houses here in Gwinnett. We had a 93% success rate for homeowners being successful in their homes with only 9 defaults. So that's pretty good. We think that's a pretty high success rate and not having to have homeowners default in their homes. Only 9 out of 152 have done that. So we're really happy about that. And then let's see what else. What is a typical Habitat family? Some people think that Habitat families, like you said, get things for free. They think they might be very low income families. That's not the case. Our Habitat homeowners make between 45% and 85% of the average median income of Gwinnett County. The average median income in Gwinnett County is about $86,000. So that would mean that our Habitat families are making around $35,000 to $65,000 a year. So they're not, if you look at a housing continuum, there's homelessness, there's shelters, there's home ownership. And so we're not serving people who wouldn't be able to manage a mortgage themselves. We're serving folks who could, but maybe because of their credit score, maybe because of their finances, they couldn't get a traditional mortgage in the traditional way. Our families are working families with professions such as teachers, county employees, warehouse workers, bank workers, healthcare workers. They work in the service industry, they work in the retail industry, they work in the clerical, and they are truck drivers. We have homeowners who have this wide range of career experience. And our families are hardworking parents that want to provide for their children. Why is it important to provide affordable home ownership to low-income families? Glad you asked. So home ownership leads to greater educational achievements. Researchers say that children of homeowners were 25% more likely to graduate from high school than similar children of renters, and 116% more likely to graduate from college. Like the 25% number from high school is already awesome, and we know that our dropout rate in high school is pretty high. But when you hear that Habitat homeowners are more likely, or 116% more likely to graduate from college, that's an amazing benefit of having your own home. We also know, and one of the reasons for that is that homeowners are far less likely to move. They remain in their home for an average of 13 years, while renters move every 2.5 years. So can you imagine as a parent who's trying to find a new place to rent every year because your rent keeps going up, and that's what your focus is on, and your kid might have to change school systems, they don't know where the next home might be, what that could do to you educationally. And so when you have a stable place and you know where you're going to be sleeping, you know what school you're going to, what district you're going to be in, how that impacts you educationally. Let's see. Homeownerships build independence. Homeownership helps to break the cycle of poverty, allows families to invest in their future. 90% of Habitat homeowners say that they could not have owned the home without Habitat. I want to tell you just a quick story about one of our homeowners who moved into her house in 2019. We built 5 houses in a row over in Lilburn on the street. So we had 5 Habitat homeowners move in together. The first house started in February of the year. The last house closed in December of the year. So these homeowners were building their houses together throughout the whole year. And one of our homeowners, Grace, she came from, I believe, Nigeria, and she had 3 kids. Before Habitat, she was living in a 2-bedroom apartment for her children, and one of her children was having to sleep on a mattress in a closet for a place for them to lay down. She was paying $1,700 for rent for that 2-bedroom apartment. $1,700 for rent. Her Habitat home now, she's paying $750 a mortgage. So can you think of that expendable income that she's already putting back into her pocket? We asked her after she moved in on dedication day, what are you going to do with this extra income that you have that you were spending on your housing before? She said, I'm going to finally be able to invest in my 401k at work and start saving for my children's education. And that's the kind of impact that having affordable housing has on homeowners.
And it sounds like to me that what you're saying is that you're also contributing overall, not just to them, but the community in terms of economic development.
Yes.
Definitely. One of the things that we do with Habitat nowadays is called neighborhood revitalization. So I don't know, back in '76 and when we first got started, we were just building land or building houses wherever we could find land. And great, we're helping this one individual. But what you said is we were realizing that if we could build homes in communities with each other, we could actually raise the value of the homes in that area. And if we were to focus a lot of our time and energy and resources in a particular area. So Habitat for Humanity of Gwinnett and Walton, we have identified 2 neighborhood revitalization areas in our 2 counties. And we're excited to be focusing on those 2 areas and see the kind of impact that we can make. We just started this process about 2 years ago, so we're still working on what that might look like for us, but we're really excited about it. So I talked a lot. Yes, sir.
This is a question. Has Habitat ever done a home for someone who may be visually impaired, some type of adaptive housing?
I'm sure that Habitat has. I don't know that our affiliate has.
I think I might be able to answer that question. Several years ago, I remember when I first joined Lions Club, there had at least been at one time a partnership between Lions Clubs International and Habitat for Humanity to help build handicap compliant homes for visually impaired people. So I think there was a partnership at least at one time. This would have been probably about mid-2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to look into that more. I don't think our affiliate itself has. I'm not aware of it. We do have our Brush with Kindness program, which is where we help people who own their own home already in Gwinnett County, but they might be older, might have a limitation, or they might just have a great financial need to have some repairs done on their home. So we help people with exterior painting projects, beautification things like maybe landscaping if they get a code enforcement violation and they just can't take care of it themselves. But we also help interior repair items. Maybe their plumbing's been leaking forever, and so now their toilets are sitting below their subfloor and resting on their plumbing because they couldn't take care of it when it was just a small leak, and it's gotten to be a much bigger problem. Maybe they're 84 now, and they still have a tub that they have to step over to get into a shower, which is not safe for people as they get older. So we do modifications where we take that tub out and we put in a walk-in shower instead. Of course, all of this is based on funding, and we can't do so many critical repairs a year, but we are doing about 30 to 40 projects a year with our Brush with Kindness program, and maybe 5 to 10 of those are critical repair projects where we're able to really tackle something that might be life-changing for a family.
You know, actually, it's funny you should mention that. Again, going back to my time in Gwinnett County, I moved out of Gwinnett County in the 90s, but I was there basically when Gwinnett County was really booming in the late 70s and 80s, when it was really beginning to boom, and you were starting to build, and started building houses left and right. And I know that I've driven through parts of Gwinnett that back in the day, back in the 80s, these are like brand new subdivisions of these starter homes or what have you, and a lot of those, and there have been some of them, and I've observed that's kind of gone downhill. And I think that's a great thing what y'all are doing to help revitalize neighborhoods, because again, one of the downsides of growth is that you eventually may have blight. And I know it. I mean, this is no disrespect to Gwinnett County or offense or whatever, but I think parts of Gwinnett County have been seeing some of that blight because of the explosive growth that happened back in the day. And I'm glad that y'all are doing something to really help combat that, to bring back those neighborhoods.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Steve, one huge challenge that we have of our Brush with Kindness program is we do partner with code enforcement, whether it's local city code enforcement or county code enforcement. And if they have an issue where a homeowner is not able to take care of it, instead of having that homeowner go to court and have to pay fines that they can't afford because they are older, living on fixed incomes, we try to help them with that. But oftentimes code enforcement violations come to us, and it's someone who's renting. And so, there was the big boom in Gwinnett County, and, housing market crashed, and a lot of people had to sell their homes, and who bought it? Landlords. And so a challenge that we have is we are only able to impact people who own their own home due to, if we go into a rental, a house that might be a rental, if we fix it up, does the landlord then increase the rent for the homeowner and make it cost burden for the home or for the renter? So that's one balance that we have to try to kind of work with when we have our Brush with Kindness program is, like you talked about, some of these neighborhoods are becoming blighted. Some of these houses are. And unfortunately, a lot of those.
Right. And again, I don't mean it as any kind of offense toward anybody.
Yeah, but it's true. It's the truth.
Yes.
And I live in Forsyth County, and if we don't, if we're not careful up here in Forsyth County, we could run into the same thing 30, 20 years down the road.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. We're running just
Sure.
We're trying to finish by 8 o'clock.
Okay. Can I just talk about how you guys can get involved real quick? I'll be really brief. So the call to action, or how can you get involved? One, you can donate. You can donate your funds. You can donate your talents. You can donate your land. Gwinnett County is very, very hard to find land in right now. And so we can only build where we can find affordable land. So for us, that means we can pay about $30,000 to $40,000 in Gwinnett County for a lot of land. So if you ever see one up when you're driving, call us. Or if you have land that you know of and want to donate it, it's a tax write-off. So please donate your funds, donate your talents, donate your land. We need people to help us be build sponsors. If the Lions Club wanted to sponsor a build day and come out and bring volunteers and have your name on the sponsor sign outside, that's a way. We need volunteers. Our Brush with Kindness program needs skilled volunteers. People can come out daily with our Brush with Kindness staff. There's 2 of them serving 2 counties. We have something called our Thursday crew. When we build for 13 Saturdays, and Thursdays are when our skilled folks come out and they fix things that maybe volunteers did wrong or help us get caught back up. We need lunch. If you want to feed our volunteers on Saturdays, please provide lunch. And then you can always purchase or donate items at our restore. And that's how you guys can get involved. Any last minute questions? All right. Well, thank you guys.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
You make me want to check into Habitat for up here in Forsyth County.
I can give you that info, Steve.
Thank you very much, Jen. If you'd like to stick around through the rest of the meeting, feel free. But if you have to go, definitely understand that as well. All right, Pete, how did the Gwinnett Stripers game go the other Saturday?
Well, we did pretty well at the game. Did you pass these around? From what I understand, we sold 115 tickets to the game. That was total. Our club sold 50 tickets, so we sold almost half. Total ticket donation due for the Georgia Lions camp, $4 for every ticket sold, $50 or 50 tickets sold, that's $200. Plus, we had a donation bucket there that we weren't really asking, but people threw in some money for the hot dogs and chips and stuff. We ended up with $137 anyway, so change that on your thing. I was doing one thing from upstairs and the rest of it downstairs. So it's actually $337 that that will be sent in the Georgia Lions camp, okay?
And that's wonderful. Thank you. That's great.
Good job, y'all.
And
Now that doesn't include any of the other clubs that bought tickets. They send their own $4 per ticket down there.
Well, Forsyth County will be sending at least $30.
And that's fantastic. Thank you for your participation, Steve. We had our wonderful treasurer who sang the national anthem. She does an amazing job. She has a wonderful singing voice. I mean it. Being completely honest.
I vouch for that.
And the Stripers have already released their schedule for next year, and we'll get the plans underway for next year's game. Do we have a very brief golf tournament report?
Yes, sir. We are at 75 registered golfers.
Excellent.
For Jen's benefit, our charity golf tournament every year, this was our second annual Hometown Heroes tournament. And out of the 144 golfing spots, we have donated 72 of those to first responders from throughout the county. Right now we have, I think, 23 spots still open. So if you know any first responders that like to play golf, send them my way. We're also always looking for corporate sponsors or golfers of all skills and ages to come and play with these guys. I apologize, I did not have a chance to print out the sponsor report. We did pick up an additional whole sponsor this week, as I mentioned before the meeting started. Ryan very graciously, thank you, Ryan, allowed me to go with him to meet with the Georgia Swarm, the professional lacrosse team. Had a wonderful conversation with them. They have offered their cheer squad, or their street team as they call it, to come and serve as volunteers for the golf tournament. So we'll be utilizing them as spotters on the different game holes. And I'm still in negotiations with them for a raffle prize. So we're trying to put together a sports lovers VIP package. Tickets to the Stripers, tickets to the Swarm, and tickets to the Glads. And Ryan and I will be meeting with the Gladiators tomorrow.
Awesome. Wonderful.
I have a phone conversation with Jerry and Linda, his new director.
Cool. When is that scheduled?
Tomorrow.
Awesome. Ryan, who are we meeting with?
We are meeting with the The one person I know for sure is the assistant general manager for the team. He said he's bringing 2 other people, but I'm not sure who those people are.
Brian had this meeting scheduled for his outreach.
Okay.
I'm just merely tagging along.
Okay, when I get home, I'll send you the information who I'm talking to. It was Jerry, and he has a new community service director.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Anything else?
No, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Catherine. Do we have any brief membership report, Pete or Steve?
We're standing at 21 members right now,
Yep.
from what I understand.
All right. And do we have any news coming down from GMT, Steve?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I know that y'all have had a new member orientation, but we're going to have a district, we are scheduling a district-wide new member orientation that will be coming up on Sunday, September the 26th, from 5 to 6 p.m. It will be done via Zoom, and we blasted out invites to all the new members plus to the district team. And if any of y'all are interested, I will send y'all the link to register ahead of time.
All right. Sounds
Thank you for
fantastic.
asking.
You're very welcome, Steve. Anything to help you spread the good word about membership. I found on Facebook the other day the latest update from the first book club. They are doing a drive for books during the month of September. More information is on their Facebook page, and I'll also send it to Tom so that he can blast that out. They're looking for new or gently used children's books, and I think they're also looking for some adult nonfiction. It's always a great cause to help the first book club here in Gwinnett help sort and distribute books to those who need them in the community. On our second meeting in the month of October, we're actually holding our zone meeting here that week, that meeting. Pete, anything you want to say about that while we're at it?
Yeah, that meeting will be here. I think I sent out an email, I think, to all of our members and members in the zone. 7 o'clock, it'll probably run till 8:30 that night. So with the different clubs here giving their reports, we might be a little bit longer meeting that night.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else have anything, or I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
President Brian?
Yes, Catherine.
Brief update on the Gwinnett School vision screening.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I apologize for not mentioning that.
I almost forgot.
No, we have heard from Ms. Chambers with the county due to the uptick in COVID cases. The school board has reinstated their rule of no outside visitors. So if you're not employed with the county, they don't want you anywhere near their buildings, which I can appreciate.
Yes.
So therefore, having our Lions in right now is not going to be allowed. So we are tabling the project, and the hope is later into this semester, Ms. Chambers and I will reconvene, and we will start putting a plan together with hopes to hopefully, like I said, best case scenario, start screening in the spring.
Okay.
My understanding is their current in-house team will do what they can, during this semester with the staff of 5 that they have.
So the kids suffer.
Huh?
The kids will continue.
No, what I believe, and like I said, I don't know this verbatim, this is kind of what was implied, is that they'll go ahead and start scheduling the smaller schools that the team of 5 can handle with no problem, and try to hold off doing the bigger schools for when things clear up, if they can bring in the extra help. So, the project is not dead, it's just merely postponed, so,
It's not dead, it's merely resting.
yes. Thank you very much.
Uh,
And now I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
Since we do have a few minutes left before 8 o'clock departure, is there anything that Jen wants to chime in with that she may have missed?
There are pamphlets and t-shirts on the back table. Please feel free to grab them.
Collateral.
Yeah.
Awesome, swag.
And lastly, can we please thank Lion Pete for painting our beautiful clubhouse?
Yes.
Way to go, Lion Pete.
Andrew helped too, didn't he?
Well, thank you, Andrew. It's so great to see you again. Did you have a good time in LA?
I did.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, we have a
You
motion.
gonna move to Hollywood, Andrew?
Yeah, I was home last week. Yeah, last week I was there a few days. Yeah.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in
One
favor?
more thing, y'all get out and start selling pecans now. I'd like to be able to place an order around the middle of September so that we can have them in by the first week or so of November. So if y'all want, the earlier you want your pecans, the earlier I can order them, okay?
Okay. All right, now,
Thanks for the info, Pete.
all in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, it carries. We are adjourned.
Good meeting, y'all. And Jen, thanks for stopping by, and thank you for that great presentation.
Good job. Good job.
And Andrew,
Something to Jen, Steve?
I
don't think she heard me.
But, Pastor Bob Mitchell is.
Yes.
I'm just telling Jen, we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
And hey, well, before y'all leave, never mind. I had another question, but Lion, Catherine, or Pete, I can ask you guys offline.
I'm Pete Stamson, I'm the membership chair here, and I thought.
Well, guys, thanks for coming.
This, I don't know how familiar you are with Lions.
Ryan's out.
Yeah.
John, you're looking good.
Jimmy Carter is a
It
Lion.
will only take a second.
And,
I was here already, so I was.
Face has good color.
I've been there.
So heart must be working
Did
better.
you pay it?
I've been.
think about becoming a member, so.
You both had a meeting, right?
Other fellows that was on there.
Hi, Don.
I
Hi,
got an
Steve.
email, that's what I was
Yeah.
just checking.
And, he just.
Take care now.
I got my son
You too.
on the
To help him